awesome, and we're live into yet another teardown. Welcome back, folks. Profiles today, and then we'll hand it over to our mentors to walk us through their journeys, learn a little bit about them, about the company Hashnode. Then we'll quickly jump into our finalist presentations, then winner announcements, and we close the session for today. Just before we get started, would love to welcome Sandeep and Megha. Thank you so much for joining us, Sandeep, Megha.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here.
Super. Guys, just to get things started, a little bit about the Product Folks. The Product Folks is a volunteer-driven community of product managers, enthusiasts, marketers, and designers. We've been in this space for the last 20 months now, a community of 25,000 plus, and a couple of initiatives that I'd like to highlight here. The first one is a set of resources for early stage product managers. It's called Learn PM with.me. We also have an early stage bootcamp. This is insurjo.club. It's an APM program, but we're trying to change the model so we can serve a lot more of you. Both these initiatives are completely free. Do check them out. This is by the community for the community. For people who are mid and later in their product careers, do check out our Slack communities and our exclusive WhatsApp groups. I think we've curated it based on the cities you are in, or the domains you are in, or the stage of your career you are in. So do check that out. Apart from that, Teardowns is an initiative we started a couple of months ago, but our aim is to be that one platform where you can go showcase your product skills and get hired. So this is your chance. Let's all root for the finalists today, but also take this as a learning process. Definitely, there are some incentives to gamify it, but in all, I think there's lots and lots that all of us viewing this as well can learn from this. And as we progress, I think some exciting announcements from the Hashnode team as well. And let's hope all of us can learn something from this session. Go ahead. I'll also add a couple of links in the chat section about the other initiative. But for now, I'd like to hand it over to Sulai to get things started. Welcome again, Hashnode team, and over to you, Sulai.
Yeah, thank you, Suhas. So I'm also super excited to listen to the decks from the finalists. So basically starting with the company profile, and we'll take you through the profiles of our mentors. So Hashnode is a global developer blogging platform, a community that has got tremendous adoption over the months since they started, and they have been doing great job around the community of developers and help them host their ideas and move from the or like the intersection between the community aspect and the own blogging aspect, and has been doing a fantastic area there. So recently, Hashnode has raised 2.1 million funding led by Sequoia Capital India Search, and it's founded by Syed, Fasil, and Sandeep. So today we have Sandeep and Megha from Hashnode to mentor us through the event. So Sandeep had a multiple entrepreneurial journey before he started Hashnode. Has written 2 amazing books on Angular JS and HTML5 as well. So if there are like developers around, like now you know that why Hashnode looks super user friendly and sees major adoption. So, and also we have Megha. So for people who follow TPF knows Megha pretty well. She has been doing great organization in the Slack channels. And now she has joined as a product developer at Hashnodes, and pretty recently, has been an integral part of this teardown starting from the beginning. So the problem statement we set for February teardown is on like 2 aspects. One is to improve the acquisition of writers, and the second one is like readers retention. So we got great amount of decks with great content. So we had to choose top 3, and the top 3 we have today is like Anand, Ashwin, and Vibhuti. So before I go into the event, I will hand it over to Sandeep to just give a few words about himself, and then hear about the journey of Hashnode.
Hey, thanks, Sulai. Thanks to us. Thanks for having us here. Really excited. Hey, everyone. So I'm Sandeep. I'm the co-founder of Hashnode. Hashnode is the easiest way to start a developer blog on a custom domain and find audience from our dev community. So we launched Hashnode in 2019, June, and we are really growing fast, 20% in all our KPIs, and seeing a lot of adoption from developers from Twitter, LinkedIn, and other platforms. Right now, we have around 500K monthly active readers and 2,500 monthly active writers, and more than 30,000 blogs have been unlocked, out of which around 30% of those blogs run on custom domains. So Hashnode started with a very simple idea. When my co-founder Fazal and I, we went back to start engineering blogs, we thought that we stumbled upon this problem. We realized that either we can go ahead with something like Medium, where we give away our content and the ownership at the cost of reach. And we also have the ability to self-host it, on using Host or WordPress or something else. But we get to build our own personal brand, but we kind of lose the community aspects that Medium used to provide. So Hashnode aims to bring the best of both worlds. So for example, once you join Hashnode, you can map your custom domain for free, and you get to build your personal branding, and you get to have your long-term SEO. Plus, you also get the same community benefits that you used to get at Medium. I think that clicked with our audience when we launched, and so everyone fell in love with the product. We invited some of our friends, and they invited their friends, and the word of mouth spread, and that's how the growth started. And till now, we have not spent any money on marketing. All the growth has been quite organic. So we are really excited about all the growth and all the positivity around the product. And we are looking for our first PM who will be able to join the team and drive the growth. Right. So, and we got a lot of submissions from you all, and the quality was really great. And I personally enjoyed going through them, and I'm really excited. So I'll just quickly tell you all the 3 points, the 3 aspects on which we're going to evaluate the submissions. I think for us, the most important aspect is that the ideas, what key ideas are you proposing, and what impact are they going to have on the platform? So that's one area. And second thing is, how much have you explored the platform? As you know, one of the key problems is that how do we retain users? To retain users, you can have multiple ways to retain them, but we'd love to see how much you have explored the platform, and how much improvements you are suggesting in each of these areas. And the third point is that communication, how well you are communicating your ideas, and are they clear enough to help somebody take decisions? So these three aspects we'll be using to evaluate the winners. So yeah, so I'm super excited.
Great. Yeah. Thank you, Sandeep. Megha, would you like to give a short intro, like for people hearing you first time?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I joined Hashnode a couple of months ago. I'm like a final year grad, and like it is a crazy ride for me to join my first full-time job. And yeah, like when I'm not with Hashnode people, I spend my time with TPF and volunteering here. So it's like my two worlds colliding. So yeah, like I enjoy everything around product management as well as development. So that's pretty much it.
Great. Thank you, Megha. So so we have over 3 finalists here. So we also see like the participants count is increasing slowly. What we do in the next few minutes is like just to start with the event. Each of the finalists gets 10 minutes for presentation and 2 minutes for question. So as you guys have noticed, for people who are following this event for a long time would know that this 10 minutes has been like a lifetime pitching kind of thing, right? So use this 10 minutes wisely. Take through the ideas which you want to communicate on high priority. Don't walk through the whole slide, which you might miss the most important points. So what I'll do next is like share my screen, and we have like wheel of names, which we usually do to select our participants on a random basis, that who gets to start first and who gets second and who gets third. And then we invite you to the stage, and then like we start the timer. Right? So that's what we are going to do. Cool. Sharing my screen. Give me a moment. Let me know when you guys can see my screen. Okay. Cool. So as announced, like Anand Vaidyanathan, Ashwin Munchver, and Vibhuti Chauhan are the three who got shortlisted for top 3. And now I will start the spin. So Ashwin gets to start first. Ashwin, if you cool. So probably you can turn on your video and then start sharing your screen, and then we'll start the timer. Cool. Nice to see you, Ashwin.
Yeah. Thanks.
Hey, Aswin.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Sandeep. Yeah. Same pleasure.
Ashwin, you would try sharing your screen. So
Yes. Sure. Okay. Are you able to view my screen?
not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can.
Could you try going in full screen?
Yes. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, we can see it now. Ashwin, I think you have probably, Asola has already given you a rundown of how the format is going to look like. Just to give you a heads up, we'll be giving you a slight notice when we have like a minute left. And as soon as we cross the time, whichever slide you are on, that will be your last slide. So again, just the emphasis on prioritizing the bits that you really want to share. This is important as it'll help all of us also pick what is that 1 or 2 or 3 things that you really want to communicate through. And with that, wishing you the very best. Your time starts now.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Vas. Okay. Yeah. Probably I'll just. Hi, myself Ashwin, and I've been working with Barclays for around 2.5 years as a developer, and so I'll just start my slides right now. So, yeah. So the problem statement was, as a PM, how would you give a developer the best blogging experience, and to acquire the best developers on board, and second thing would be the solutions to improve the stickiness for the readers on the platform. So this is the timeline. First is the user persona, then user journey, and third would be the recommendations, which is like a broad 4 to 5 slides over there, and then the last conclusions. First is my Rishi. He's the Hashnode rockstar. He likes to write a lot and create. He is very creative enough, and he's a proper developer, like a senior role. And as a developer, he also needs to channel his blogs and earn some money through the market. Then he usually spends around 7 to 10 hours. Then the second one is Jenny, who is the value seeker, and she is probably from immigrant from Twitter or Dev2 or Medium community, just to gain a more proper knowledge about the development and the programming stuff, and that's why she has joined the Hashnode. She around spends the 5 to 7 hours. Then the third one is Shivani. She is the passive user. I mean, she hardly writes, or she is afraid of writing of these blogs, or the reasons might be many things, she doesn't get proper comments or evaluation or the likes, or the proper platform she wants to use for. Then this is my journey mapping. So there are 2 paths for it. One is the writer and the reader. For the writer, when he unblock the blog, he has if he doesn't have the unlock session, then he has to set up his blog name and the subdomain name along with like the super personal Hashnode domain name. Then if he already has unlocked and then he wants to write something or stuff on the blog, then we provide some guidelines to the feature. some guidelines, and they draft a sharing feature also, where he can share his draft. Yeah, then he is going to publish it, and after publishing the blog, he can either edit these blogs or see the analytics tools for his dashboards, like for the SEO or for the marketing stuff. Then the second one is the reader, and he writes the reader. He reads blogs and the stories under those features and recent columns. He also has the explores tags or a bookmark feature mentioned in the Hashnode portal. So moving on. Yeah, first of recommendation would be the community management. As you can see here, I have mentioned the tags, like to change its name from hash community or tag community, like a cool name for it. It also denotes that the user does belong to a particular community on it, and rather than just following the topic, he also engaging in the community stuff. And the second thing is the tools for the community moderators, because they handle all these stuffs like in a proper way, and they are like the monitor of the class. So just handing them the tools, like for example the pinning stuff. Sorry, yeah, pinning a post, or creating a set of rules for a particular tag, or banning or deleting a spam. So, and announcing the most effective contributor of the week. I think this feature has already been there on the Hashnode in the site calls. Speaking of the spams, so here I found some of the suggestions to reduce these spams. You can see that whenever the user has writes on a blog, then the tag has to be mandatory enough, and or whenever he mentions the tags, then a small pop-up, whenever he hovers on a tag, then a small pop-up can come up saying that these are the rules, and if you don't follow them, then you can get banned or something. The second would be after publishing. If this thing doesn't work, then after publishing the blog, he'll get to know that these are the tags that we have used, and letting him know that what are these tags used for. Third would be giving up the control. So this thing I have found to be very essential and useful for the many communities. Not to managing the community is the proper management. So like giving people access to create a public or private community online meetups, and they can come up with their own online meetup things. And this also, if you give them the tools like this, then it will also help or reduce our burden also. Whenever you want to, I think you would be willing to go for the marketplace where some of the things like recruitment or interviews are going to be there. So creating just a community over there will help us reduce the operation cost for Hashnode. So the fun fact is that AMA or the R-Study was created by this only. So moving on. I have taken this blog for customer engagement because this is I think the Sandeep has developed audio blogs for it and his team. The first is liked by a top blogger or the following person. If a person likes his blogs, then he will get a proper point for it, and the blogs looks more authentic for the readers, and increase in chances of more rates and likes feature. The second thing is a 2-minute ride, allowing the readers to previously know beforehand know that this is of the 2-minute read and not a 7-minute read, and then he can go on for. Read it later feature, he can save it for his week, and in a Saturday or in the weekend he can read all his blogs at one time. So this will also we can also send them a pop-up feature that you have to read it later, and this will improve our retention rate. Then this is the top feature. I think this has already been included, but not on the main screen, but as a side column. Tag sorting. Tag sorting, here we have 3 proper tags over there, and he will just directly jump up to any proper tag, and then he will move on to his next things. Moving on, the customer engagement. Yeah, enable evaluators is more when any particular amateur joins wants to write a blog and he wants somebody his friends or any senior to evaluate his blog, then this feature would be helpful. And this feature can also be mapped to writer's blog and the feature request. The second is you can search your community over here just by writing hash Java, hash HTML, or hash SQL. You can directly get you can directly search a community over here and then join. This feature can also be added to RFA and AMA. RFA is a request feature, and whenever you want to request any feature from the Hashnode team, then this is there. And AMA. The
I think you have 2 minutes to go. Just give me.
Okay, sure. Yeah, customer satisfaction with where the writers are, they have a proper recommendation where which themes or the images they have previously used, and they want to follow it with the last images used or not. This is just a cognitive tool where a user will not again search for that image randomly or repetitively. And the second is the improvement concentration, where we can give a proper extension, or we can build it on ourselves, that indestructible.xyz or any Spotify API just to improve his concentration level. Yeah. Moving on, this is these 2 points are just basic facts where you can also find it on the Hashnode community. Yeah. Next on gamification. Yeah, this is the most I have should be emphasis on. Like writers, you can have a Hashnode top publisher in any specific field, Hashnode monthly voice, Hashnode influencer, and the next gen and the lady boss blogger. That is particularly for students and women respectively. Then for the moderators, we can have Hashnode top leaders or the moderator of sub moderators. Like he is the head of the moderator, and the ambassador to be the future moderator. We have our own ambassador, so if we wish to be the moderator of any particular community, then this is like a particular attraction tool for him. Innovators, where a digital innovator, where any useful features or where you get most likes for that feature. Then the silent killer, where when he comments the most or when he reduces the problem solving for the community. This is the product roadmap for the current, near team, and the future. In the future, you can see that I have specifically mentioned language selection tool just to acquire our new international bloggers. But whenever I dipped it deeper, then I found more problems over it rather than the solutions. So I want to discuss it more, but yeah, let's move on. Prioritization.
You just crossed your time right now, so I'll have to stop you at this slide. I'm so sorry. Okay. Maybe in the questions, if Sandeep has something, do try tying it back to one of the slides if you have an answer. But Sandeep, I'd like to hand it over to you in case you have any questions.
Hey, Aswin, thanks a lot for doing this and pitching to us. I'll just give you my feedback. So in terms of the good parts, I really loved how you talked about renaming tags to communities. And honestly, I really believe we should do that. In fact, that's something that we are going to do. And more controls around the moderators. That's also something very, very, very important. And that's already in the roadmap. So it's going to be sipped. And I also liked the way you refactored the feed and you introduced something called liked by the top blogger, right? That can be a huge signal of the quality. And also read time and showing tags up front, those are already in the roadmap. So kudos for finding them and including. And the gamification part was also really, really good. So well done. We already have challenges inside Hashnode. For example, 2 articles, 1 week challenge, crazy blogger challenge. I think these badges also, they make a lot of sense. So great job there. In terms of things to improve, I think you could have talked a little bit about the onboarding. I still think if you have a great onboarding, you can you can in fact increase your retention by a great margin. And one more area that you could have talked about is the product tour. So we have a product tour in place. Once you do the onboarding, you see that tour, and what we have seen is that the people who took the tour, for them, the retention is quite higher compared to the people who didn't. So maybe if you have time, you can probably go back and maybe take a look at the tour and the onboarding part. But overall, great job.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Sandeep. Should I stop?
Thanks so much. Yeah. Thanks so much, Ashwin. Megha, Sulai, do you guys have any questions for Ashwin, or we could pull in our second finalist? Okay.
So we can call the next one.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much, Ashwin. I'm glad to see the indistractable mention, and all the best. No bonus points here, but good presentation. Sandeep will probably share some more general feedback towards the end, but good stuff and all the best. Fingers crossed. Awesome. Sulai, in case you want to roll the die again, let's see who comes up second.
Yeah, sure. So sharing my screen again, like I hope see it now.
Yep, we can see.
So we have Anand and Vibhuti. So I'll just start the spinning now.
Awesome. Anand, you are probably up next. In case you could raise your hand, we'll bring. Okay, Anand, please. Ashwin, you. Awesome. Welcome back, Anand. Good to see you. You probably know all the rules and the best practices. So handing it directly over to you. If you could just try sharing your screen, then we could start the time.
Sure thing.
And Anand, another heads up is just to focus on those top 2-3 points. You know that I'm sure there are lots and lots of interesting ideas that all our finalists have. But quick heads up is drive the entire presentation around those 2-3 and try going deeper into one of them.
Absolutely.
Yep, we can see your screen. Your time starts now. Over to you. All the best.
Okay, thank you. Hey everyone. Super excited to be here on Hashnode Teardown. Quick introduction. I work as a technical program manager with Freshworks. Super excited to share my perspective here. So here's how I've structured my agenda here. So basically, we'll dive deep into user persona, the problem statement, the feature prioritization, the proposed solution, and also a little bit talk about the 1-3-6 plan. Talking broadly about the user persona, so there are two personas. One is a blog writer, one is a blog reader, right? So basically, blog writer whose major goals are oriented towards sharing knowledge across other developers, creating a good outreach, creating a quality content. You want them, they want to become famous, probably bonus points if they, find the next job using their brand, right? And on the other side, you have your people who are in pursuit of constant knowledge. So they look at different blogs, they consume different knowledge in terms of they consume videos, stuff like that. And they also want one-stop shop. They want to figure out all their developer needs, right? So here is a broader persona, but sort of deep dive into user persona. There are different aspects of it, and I've did a user research with 10 plus users ranging from different experiences. One of the just quickly talk about the personas here. Data scientists. The basic goals of data scientists who are writing a blog is to enhance learning. So when you sort of explain some concepts, it'll be very important that you understand what you're actually explaining, writing in the blog. So it's important that they'll also learn a lot. That's one of the major goals, and they'll want to build a network, get a quality feedback on how stuff is. And as a data scientist, it might be extremely crucial for you to crunch numbers, but also it's as important as how you communicate, how does that drive business impact and stuff. Same way, so different personas there, right? Engineering manager. The engineering manager's major goal is around recruit talent for their team or company, marketing the company's culture, share knowledge, and create their personal brand to sort of go into a leadership levels. And you have staff engineers who are pretty much architects who wants to sort of document architectures, do patents, simplify complex concepts, and then so that even the entry-level developers can understand. He wants to build the credibility as a subject matter expert, stuff like that. And as a software engineer, people who are reading blogs, they use blogs as a source of learning new concepts. as opposed to problems. Like there is a lot of people go to Stack Overflow, but the trigger for them to go to Stack Overflow is more towards problems. And if there's a more of learning concept, they usually go to a blog, right? Then blog with good amounts of illustration is very catchy for people who are reading blogs. Also, they want to look at a blog that will help them simplify concepts. Here are some of the insights that I drew from the user interview, right? I think usually the trigger points are there where people have problems with Stack Overflow, and they look at blogs to understand or learn new concepts or languages, stuff like that. And a lot of developers discover contents through their social media. It could be Twitter, but there's been upward traction towards Instagram, where people are learning towards in terms of Insta stories. A lot of people are putting bite-sized content. And then majority of users prefer a video-based medium. Like a lot of people have consume YouTube videos as one of their areas to learn concepts. And also, and on average, both 3 to 9 years of experience extensively spend time on writing and reading blogs. So basically, you have blog readers and blog writers, but intersection point where they do both is about 3 to 9 years of experience. Here's a problem statement, right? So the problem statement that we're trying to address here is to drive adoption through basic two stuff. One is getting the best developers onboarded. 2 is retaining users. And for us to really get best dev blockers, it'll also retain a lot of readers, and readers usually have generally a lot of options in terms of exploring. So basically, the funnel is that they discover a platform, they use the platform, they love, and they recommend it. So right now we have users who already discovered, who already use the platform. I think more towards focus on love and recommend. How do they get value out of this? And here's some of the basic assumptions I've made. Basic retention is some of the very common problem blogging, because blogs are written from their own perspectives. It's not legally moderated. Like if you go to Medium, we have a partner program that's actually sort of editorial help is there, and you sort of create a high quality articles. Average developer already consume a lot of videos and other stuff of async modes of learning, and readers usually have a struggle to get the best match of knowledge that they seek. And here is where I've broken down the problem statements. Basically, acquire best dev bloggers. The basic pain point around acquiring best dev bloggers around the lack of editorial teams to make sure that they are writing the content and their SEO is optimized. They need to constantly evolve. Apart from having the blog, they also need to make sure that people are able to get videos, stuff like that. And migration is one of the bigger issue, right? I think if you're a best dev blogger, if you're moving to a new platform, things like you need to understand how is the migration going to happen, what will happen to viewership, stuff like that. And reaching relevant audience who will give quality feedback in terms of what you want to do next. And their goals around basically oriented around improving viewership. How do they sort of make sure they stay on trend in terms of creating contents to get more and more audience and make sure their knowledge is shared. Write articles that are in demand by the users. In terms of high stickiness for readers, the major pain points is around, generally in Hashnode, I felt that the user experience are over-indexed to the writer profile persona, like even the onboarding, which I'll talk about it later. But like literally not a lot of people have the, attention span to sort of go through full blogs because we have started consuming a lot of different mediums and it's getting catchy. And then quality of blogs needs to be reliable so that people can use as a platform to keep coming back. And goals is basically for readers is to make sure that they have high quality access to high quality content, and it has to be a personalized recommendation has to be done in terms of what they want to read and stuff like that, and make sure that they search and get relevant articles on the website. All right, here's a bunch of problems that I've done, but I'm just not going to read through each of the line items, but I've looked at some of the problems here and I've prioritized it using a RISE framework. So here is the first thing. I think acquire best dev bloggers. If you talk about the best dev bloggers, one thing is you can get anchor users to your platform, right? But again, as an evolving platform, you need to start over-indexing on stuff like how do you make sure they, how do you sort of acquire the new customers? So rather than, I thought the best way forward would be creating influencers in the whole platform, right? So host company, tech blogs, Hashnode. Like, the major problem today is a lot of companies write blogs. They have tech blogs, they maintain a lot of blogs, but they have to make sure they write the keyword to make sure they attract the talent, stuff like that. So that's one of the aspects. Second is onboarding experience. As I said, today we have an onboarding experience which is over-indexed for writers because there's a lot of, you'll have to go ahead and create your blog and make sure, and everywhere you see there's a lot of write options So it feels like that's a lot of over-index for writing persona. And third is create seamless migration experience. So there are a lot of articles, even in Medium, we have articles about how can you migrate your blog from Medium to Hashnode. So I think today, even though Hashnode has an option to sort of do this in their blog dashboard, but I think it could be a very, very seamless experience for people to do. Because think about, I'm an established writer in Medium, then I need to think about what will happen to my viewership. How do I go about doing this? Stuff like that, right? And different mediums of content. So we have a lot of content that is getting churned out. It could be memes, it could be videos, it could be stuff like that. So that people are already getting creative about the way they spread the knowledge in terms of illustration, stuff like that. So these are the problems that I've picked, and I'm going to pick only 2-3 problems from here. I'm going to talk about it. This is a strategic big bet that I'm focusing on. So basically, where the idea is to make sure that, let's say, there are companies like Twilio, other companies, their tech blogs can be hosted in Hashnode. What it will do is, it will make sure that it is there right in the bloggers platform, and also it will create a lot of traction. They don't need to go about sort of do SEOs and stuff like that. They can actually create a lot of traction. I'll also talk about the statistics. This is one of the survey from Stack Overflow where they've talked about 65% of people actually read about employee blogs and company videos. And Hashnode uses them with like approximately 80% is Hashnode. This is from an SEO. So I think it makes sense. In India, especially, there's a lot of growing SaaS companies where people have established tech as a brand. But I feel that there's less bloggers who are influential bloggers that are coming. So this Hashnode has an untapped opportunity right there to tap into creating influencers. So yeah.
Anand, just a heads up, a minute to go. So this would probably be your wrap up in case you want to summarize.
All right, sure. So this is the workflow. So I think create a top 100 engineering leaders choice, get developers to vote, build a guest blog with 100 engineering leaders, publish a blog in Hashnode, and create a tag for specific companies and pitch it to companies to get their blog on Hashnode, right? I think this is also credits to the product folks. I think this is from their inspiration of creating top 100 PMs. Yeah, I think that's pretty much. I think I have 136 plans stuck there, but I think I'll take any questions if you guys have.
Yeah, I hope you can fit it in the next 2 minutes in case it fits into one of the questions.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Anand. I think great deck. Sandeep, over to you in case you have some questions for us.
Hey, Anand. Thanks for doing this. I saw you sign up multiple times on Hashnode to get an account and then delete it, then start it over again.
Yeah.
So you really spent a lot of time. So thanks for that. Yeah. So I really love the idea of tech blogs for companies, and in fact, that's one of the biggest things that we're going to do in coming few months, and we are starting with making it available for open source projects for free initially, and then probably we can have a more commercial plan where these tech companies like Twilio and all they can come and they can have editorial policies, collaboration, all those things that can happen there. So that's definitely there. And this top 100 engineering managers, right? So I really think that's also a great idea. And yeah, so that's really well done. I know I understand you could not cover everything, so if you're up for it, I would love to have a call with you to understand all the aspects and go through all of them. I have already gone through the slides. I really appreciate what you have done, but I would love to engage in deeper conversations after this.
Absolutely.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thanks, Sandeep. Megha, do you have any questions for Anand, given?
There is a gap between the information readers are trying to see. So that is very good. And apart from this, the point that every writer has a reader base of their own. So when you talk about that, to migrating a blogs from Medium or something, suppose a writer already have a very big viewership there. So apart,
Yeah.
we already have uploaders, so you can simply migrate Medium blogs and everything. So do you have any additional ideas around that, like, in terms of migrating?
So I think
Apart from what's
stuff like
already available.
whenever. Sorry, Megha, could you repeat the question? I think I couldn't hear you properly.
Yeah, I was saying that apart from what's already available, like the uploaders that you can migrate
Okay.
blog from Medium and Dev, do you have anything additional to add on that?
I think one of the things that I liked is when you land into Hashnode, you have that whole setup of how do you there's a wizard, how do you go about discovering website, right? I think I was also similarly trying to understand if at least there is a area where people can sort of visualize how the migration is going to happen, because I think that's definitely one way that will put all these writers at ease, right? How is the migration going to be planning, right? What is the steps that are needed? So if you look at the whole dashboard, you have import from zip, you have import from dev.to and stuff like that. But I think it'll be good to understand the journey, sort of walk them through. These are the steps you need to do. I think that'll create a lot of confidence for them to migrate. Yeah, I think that's my thought.
Got it.
Awesome.
Got it. Amazing.
Yeah, thank you, Anand. That was great deck, great presentation, and
Thank you.
I think you nailed it. Great job. So,
our mentors, don't you think are super kind on this one? Like, it's only all the or the participants in the decks or both, right? Either the participants in decks are super awesome or our mentors are too kind. But yes, like great stuff, Anand. Like thanks for the presentation. Like Solai was saying. So like sorry, I interrupted. I just wanted to add that comment, but please go ahead.
all good. So, considering the time, I would just call Vibhuti next, just to do the presentation, and then we have interesting AMA and fireside chat.
Hi.
Hi, Vibhuti. I think we can see you, but a little soft on your audio. So in case you could come closer to the mic.
Okay. Now?
Much better, much better. But I'm not sure how you'll hold that throughout the presentation. But good luck. I think you might already know the roles, but we'd love for you to focus on that one or two co-writers. We'll have a hard stop at 10 minutes. So in case you could share your screen, we'll just test if that is working fine. And guys, this time we also have like a participants winner's choice. So stay tuned. As soon as this presentation is done, I hope everyone's taking down notes. And that's it. Vibhuti, in case you could share.
Can you?
Not yet.
No? From my.
Yes, yes. I think now we can see your screen. You could open. Yes, we can
Now?
see that. Yes, yes, yes. We can see your presentation as well. If you're good to start, yes, perfect. Your time starts now. All the best.
Thank you. All right, so I'll be quick. So we already know the problem statement, and our goal is to dev bloggers acquisition and reader retention and engagement. So we already are aware that our target audience is developers, and my approach is first research and user interviews, then going through user journey, then solution prioritization. So I'll be quick so let's come to the research part. So a lot of data is available online from dev bloggers using Hashnode for writing. So like what they like about Hashnode, what they don't like about Hashnode, and comparing it with other blogging platforms. So I wanted clarity on readers on Hashnode. So I talked to a few devs who use Hashnode regularly once a week. So the results followed. 100% of the users love the UI and the UX of Hashnode, and 80% are using it for reading and community discussions. The painful points mostly included editor is only marked down, feature requests mostly. So from this, it was clear that the users love the design and feel of Hashnode. So thus the solutions My solutions are focused more on improving the user journey with the product and suggesting user acquisition or community engagement solutions. So let's talk about users. Since Hashnode is a content platform, so there are two types of users, either writers or readers. So writers can be further subdivided into experienced writers and the freshers. So these experienced writers are the dev bloggers who have been writing for many years and have experience with existing other blogging platforms. And the freshers are tech bloggers who want to get into people who want to get into tech blogging and their motivation. So I have used JTBT platform a framework here. So motivational needs include learning, helping others, being a part of the community, personal branding, thought leadership, money, etc. And now coming to the second type of users, the readers, they can be divided further into experienced one and the freshers. So the experienced are basically professionals, 5 years of experience, and they go through several, they go through blogs when they are bored. And the freshers are basically people, college students or people who are getting beginner coders. So their motivation and needs are learning, upskilling, being a part of the community, higher freelancing, jobs, gigs. And this part is basically for tech companies who can hire, because Hashnode is also a dev discovery platform. So it's for companies. Now, the needs met through Hashnode are learning, being part of the community, participate in discussions. They have a very active Discord channel. And personal branding, people love their features like customized website, custom domain, etc. So, like full ownership of the content. And few of the unmet needs are hiring freelancers, money, job, paid gigs, consulting, and basically discovering people and improve communication. So I'll come to this later. So as I mentioned, Hashnode is a content platform, just like any other content platform, whether it's Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. So the users are continuously going back and forth between two modes, which is either they are in the consumption mode or they are in the production mode. So if they're in the consumption mode, so they are basically exploring content, what others have written, and maybe they come across, like some good content, and they're like, oh, I also did a similar project. Maybe I can also write a blog around it or article around it. So they're going back and forth. So for the next slide, so I'll skip this just to only. So homepage, I think homepage of Hashnode is pretty straightforward, pretty easy to understand. The left side is for all the pages I mentioned with dashboard here and the blogs, write an article from here, and right side all the challenges I mentioned. So for the users, I think we can make this beginner friendly. The tags are not visible to users currently. By adding, adding text to each article will make it beginner friendly, and people new to coding can find it difficult to identify blogs based on text. Now coming to the tag page, so this is the page which has community, which has micro communities on Hashnode, and this can be pretty, it's even I would suggest to change it to community part, because so now they have many micro communities like JavaScript, React, Python, and maybe a small suggestion here to add follow buttons and RSS feed directly, so that I can, user can directly follow from here. Now the best part about tag page is that each and every tag micro community have tag moderators. So for example, this one, you can see that every tag community have moderators here. So current tasks of tag moderators include edit metadata, enable, disable the top contributor. I think we can really use these moderators and gamify tag moderators. For example, introducing a mayor program. So just like in real life, we have mayors in every city, we can introduce a mayor program for these micro communities, like these will be called Hashnode mayors, and each and every city will have Hashnode mayors. A badge they will learn if they fulfill the criteria, and the criteria may include like you are an extrovert and can lead communities, can organize offline, online meetups, events in their respective cities. So they will be assisted by inspectors. So I couldn't come up with a creative name, so inspector for now. So they'll assist mayors of the micro communities in driving engagement and organizing activities. So every month or maybe quarterly, we can have Best Mayor Award. So the micro communities with best results, engagement, number of blogs, offline, online activities will get the Best Mayor Award. This will go hand in hand with Unlock Your City program. So Hashnode already has an ambassador program, and this is just additional suggestions. These are additional suggestions. So Unlock Your City program is basically, for example, I live in Noida, and I can start Hashnode Club in Noida. I'll fill up a form on Hashnode website and start and unlock my city, and I'll be mayor of the city, and or maybe we can have voting to choose mayors and like inspectors. So this will help in building micro communities where people can join in, discuss or build side projects through meetups. So every city will have one mayor, but multiple. And similar to Unlock Your City program, this is Unlock Your Campus program. For example, Amazon campus in Hyderabad or in certain location can have like individual Hashnode clubs in their campus. So, or maybe ID Kanpur, and like if we are targeting freshers. So every community leader will be the inspector of that community, and they can have monthly meetings with mayor of that city, and leading from and organizing events and managements. Engagement, sorry. Now, gamifying badges. So whenever you go to a blog on Hashnode, so there's this badge button. So if you go to that badge button, the whole page is basically empty and horizontally, listing all the badges that particular blogger has earned. So maybe a call to action here, adding a call to action here, like start earning your badges, unlock now. So this is basically targeted to beginners so that they start writing, and maybe introducing levels. So this is to target top bloggers, like to improve engagement with top bloggers. So next, coming to the bookmarks page. So this is another suggestions. Like after like 50 bookmarks, it gets really difficult to track, like the added, track the bookmarks. So maybe a board for bookmark. So this is inspired by Pinterest bookmark board and Instagram bookmark board. And this can be made public or private according to the user choice. And this will also create FOMO among people. So like what friends among people, like among users, what friends or other people are adding to their list. And in a horizontal, all the posts here. So next is
just a heads up, you have exactly a minute to go. So maybe this would be a wrap up.
All right. So, okay. So this is another feature, search assistant. So currently like this whole page is empty, and we can use this as a canvas to further engage users. And then another one, editor. So currently there is no call to action. There are how-to guides on Hashnode, but you have to, there is no call to action to, take you to those how-to guides. So how-to guide, and maybe their Discord channel, because their Discord channel has a community feedback group. But no call to action anywhere on the site. I mean, I didn't find it. So another one, or maybe having an editing team, so people can directly send it to editing team, or if they want community feedback, they can join the Discord channel. More button, maybe buy me a coffee, collab button, so that people like looking for mentorship can directly contact people from here. So these are further acquisition suggestions. Maybe instead of like monthly hackathons and so, like, and maybe organizing events with dev influencers, live podcast, or in maybe Clubhouse, so to increase engagement and referral rate, or and maybe voting challenge to vote the most favorite blog in a micro community. Voters can be from outside the community, but only developers. So this will help to gain the audience of the participants. So,
Vibhuti, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I love the deck. I love the idea, but I'm so sorry. I'll have to stop you here.
all right.
Thank you so much, Sandeep. Over to you in case you have some questions.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Vibhuti. Thanks a lot for doing this. I really appreciate. So I have a couple of questions, and I also have a few suggestions. So basically, the first thing that you talked about, campus program and Hashnode club, those really make a lot of sense. In fact, Hashnode campus program is on our priority list, and we can definitely try out Hashnode clubs. And I also really loved how you organized bookmarks. And this is also what we have observed. Once you get past 20 bookmark items, it becomes really difficult to organize. So having some kind of level and collection kind of thing, that makes a lot of sense. But one quick question: what we have observed to bookmark interesting posts. Any thoughts around those?
Yeah, this is why I suggested, making that list public. So other people, like friends, when I'm sending up, for example, as a user, if I send something to my friend, so he can see that what I have bookmarked, and if he checks up my profile, so like making it visible to others. So to create a sort of FOMO among others. Okay, so this friend is reading this many blogs. Maybe I should also start reading more and more blogs. I should also do this.
Yeah, makes sense. And I also agree with your idea to grow communities as micro communities. So convert the tags into full-blown communities and sort of grow them as those micro communities. Any thoughts and ideas around how do we get followers of those communities to come back to the site beyond emails? How do we get those followers to come back to those communities?
So first of all, so I joined one more suggestion. I joined Hashnode like 3-4 days back, and I have received just one mail that is from you, suggesting all the blogs I should visit, like how to guide, how to write. I mean, like the tour basically of Hashnode. So I think I will definitely suggest you to improve. Increase the number of notifications, email notifications, and to improve micro communities. I think we should. So this is a community platform. So the vision is to create the largest dev community. So we should really focus. Our focus at Hashnode should be encouraging people to, or like creating leaders from these communities and encouraging them to further engage users and further increase the engagement and so these are basically the mini influencers. So I think we should focus on community leaders and increasing the community.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Yeah. So basically, you joined 3 days back, is it?
Yeah. I'm a non-tech person, so basically
you'll start getting emails. You'll start getting more emails. So we are waiting for 48 hours to get over. All right. So no, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for doing this. Very interesting. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Vibhuti. I think a couple of people in the chat also saying that your deck was amazing. So great job, great effort. I can see that. And all the best. A couple of more minutes to announce the winner. But I'd like to take this opportunity to give Megha and Sandeep maybe 5 minutes to sync together backstage so that you guys could figure out who you think were the top 3, who was the top among the 3. And also we'll be doing the product sparks announcement. So while Megha and Sandeep are probably backstage, y'all can take a break, maybe just switch off your mic and video and get on a call and discuss that. Meanwhile, we have a couple of things to share with our participants, so we'll wait for you guys to come back. Till then, Sulai and me will just walk them through a couple of interesting things.
Sure. Thanks.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much to all our finalists for the decks. I think very interesting, and I think like we shared last time also, we've seen this grow from the first deck to now, right? So for us, it's really interesting because it's a learning journey for us as well. You know, right? For every time you see it's new products, new ideas. So for Solai and me as well, it's very interesting to see that. We sometimes share feedback that we see from our side that that might help for folks who are looking to participate in the next one. For folks who participated, you can also go check this for yourself, right? Go to our website, theproductfolks.com/teardown. So I might probably share the link in the chat section. You can see some of the slides that were there right in the beginning to the ones that were there in the last teardown. You will see the growth that has come through, the kind of idea. And in case you are looking to participate in the next one, I think we've already finalized the company for our next one. So in case you're looking to do that, do definitely check it out. Take some inspiration. Don't copy the slides for sure, but take some inspiration, and hope this helps, right? But apart from the teardown, we'd also like to share that, okay, this is one opportunity for folks who are looking to break in. I think Gauri, who was part of our Groffers one, she got placed with Groffers. Others are doing the interview processes. Some of them converted, some of them didn't. But take this as a learning opportunity for you that will help you outside. Because I know a couple of them who participate, and 2-3 of them use these decks to reach out to other companies outside. So you're trying to showcase your product thinking. So apart from the entire competition or the entire B school case study aspect that we're trying to create in this teardown, apart from that, take this as a learning opportunity, right? You're reading so many books, you're watching videos. It might be TPF or outside. I think there's fantastic communities across who are doing great stuff in the product space. So take the learnings from across. Maybe you're reading books, maybe you're building things on the side. Take this as an opportunity to apply that to real world problem statement, right? Each of these are real. The last 6, you could go through the recordings. They're there on our YouTube channel. So like, if you could share that link. Guna, I think you're right. I think learnpm.with.me is down, and that is entirely my fault. Thanks so much for giving me the heads up. I think I noticed that yesterday night someone had reached out to me as well. I'll hopefully... Sorry? Yeah. I think I'll just look into that. I think very noob error on my side. That I think I've forgotten to extend the domain, and probably it's expired. So hopefully I'll be able to retrieve it. But yeah, I'll reach out to some of you guys in case I'm not able to do that. We are also coming up with a version 2 where we are adding case studies and interview prep to that platform. So no worries. Maybe by next weekend the new website should be live anyway. But yeah, coming back to the teardowns bit, hope you guys have been enjoying it. I see a couple of people who are coming back again and again. Hope this is helping that journey. We are starting off with a new series, I think, come April. In case you aren't part of our Slack channel, do definitely join there, because we're trying to create an entire, for folks who are learning with us. I think this is going to be a way more structured approach, completely free. Come learn with us there. Come do your mock interviews on our Slack channel and network with senior PMs there. And on the third aspect, come test your skills, right? You're learning, you're networking, but come test your skills and try getting a job there. That is one format that we'll be trying. It's going to take us a month to put everything together, but hopefully in April or May is when we kick that series on. Apart from that, we'd love if someone wants to share some to a bunch of companies. In case there's someone from a consumer facing company who wants to do a teardown for their app, Solai and me both are accessible. Please do reach out. Solai, any points that you'd like to add? This is from the teardown aspect. I'll probably share a couple of other initiatives after you, if you want to add something.
Yeah, I think you mentioned most of it. So it was fantastic listening to each one of you. As you said, we have seen people growing their product skills and trying to present it in a right way, and bringing it to the audience was like great to see how this has evolved over a period of time. And we also have lots of other events, as was mentioned, coming up in the next few months. Other than that, I think things are going pretty well, and I'm happy with how the participants are interacting. But one thing which I see is like the bias for action with the participants have been a little bit less. So people who register to do decks, that's a great opportunity for you to break into your product career. Like a lot of people start the decks, but at the end of the moment, because of work, they are not able to complete. So if you have some ideas which you think which could work in favor of you in such instances, feel free to reach out in terms of extensions, or if you are looking for a partner or things like that. We are trying to facilitate this even better so that it becomes the best platform for you to break into product career and show your product skills. So that's something which I wanted to say.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. So, another one that we have a couple of, like I mentioned, I think we also have a couple of volunteer opportunities opening up. So, in case any of you all have some time on the side, would love to contribute back to the community, definitely reach out. That is on one aspect. We are hosting a couple of product conversation series and the founder series. I think this is picking up. I think we're starting off, and this is exclusive. We haven't announced this yet, but we're starting off a series with YC founders about how their experience has been, what are they doing, why they're doing what they're doing, what's next. And these are early stage to mid stage companies. So, that also opens up doors for you guys to reach out, understand what they're doing, in case, create some more opportunities for the community. Second, product conversation. I think we just hosted Jackie Bavaro, who's written one of the most famous product management books. It's Cracking the PM Interview. Some of you all might have already read it. So that should be on our YouTube channel by tomorrow. Do check that out. Very engaging conversation. We're hosting the ex-CPO of Netflix, Gibson Biddle, in the coming week. So that is pretty exciting for us too. I think March, April is going to be fantastic in terms of that. And in May, we are trying to host a fintech product concept. So that is going to be interesting as well. So just giving you guys some heads up. None of this is out there yet, but since you are with us on a Saturday evening, thought we'll share this with you. This is on the event side of things and on the opportunities side. I think we shared about Teardown, we shared about the events, we shared about the volunteering opportunities. Last request is, in case you enjoyed this format, in case you enjoy what we're doing overall, we'd love if you could give us a shout out. This could also be like tagging folks who you think we should invite, or just screenshots of things, or just your experience. It could be positive, it could be things that we could improve on. But your shout out would mean a lot in terms of engaging more people from the community. It's one way that we are asking for your support. And if there is anything that you'd like us to do, like something that we are missing out on, I know there are a bunch of things, right, from Learn PM to Learn PM. I know is done, but we'll bring that back up in either the same format or another. Just give us a week for that. In terms of learning, I think that is one thing we're trying to do. We'll also be creating the structured approach. These are two things on the learning side. On practice, we have Teardown. We have the open Slack group for you guys to join. There are like over 30 WhatsApp groups, city-wise, domain-wise. In case you want to join that, feel free to reach out. Couple of new initiatives that are coming up. Some of them that I've shared, some of them I think are internal yet. We're still figuring it out. So yeah, if you have any ideas, do reach out. That's probably it from my side. We'll just sync back with Megha and Sandeep. In case any of you all want to come on stage, I think the finalist, so like maybe for 2 minutes, we could get the finalists on board to share their thought process. So that could also help the next people who are taking part in the next one. That would help them to a certain extent. So if you'd like to invite them.
Yeah, sure. So probably I'll invite Anand, Ashwin, and Vibhuti now to the stage, right?
And meanwhile, guys, the Slido link is in the chat section. Please do help upvote the one that you think. Let's see how many of us think who's going to win. And this winning is just a part of the whole game. It's more about all of us learning. If you have some feedback, do share that. But the Slido link, I'll post it in the chat section again. Let's see who gets closest to our actual winner announcement. Anand, Vibhuti, Ashwin, in case you guys could switch on your videos, we have a couple of questions for you all.
Yeah.
So if you guys could share how your experience has been participating, we could go left to right. I see Anand first on my screen. I think Anand, this is the second time on the finalist. So how has that experience been? And if you could share some tips and tricks with the people who are trying to take part in the next one to get into the top 3. What really helped you? How was the process? If you could walk us through, how you went about building the deck, thinking about the challenge statement, that would be awesome.
Absolutely. Thanks, Yosh. I think it's an amazing initiative by the product folks. I think every time there's a product teardown, I think it pushes us to sort of do better in terms of think about the user problems. I think one lot of takeaways is the kind of sessions that the product folks organize. Even the last night session was amazing, and the folks and then the sessions and then the Slack channel definitely helps. I think the way I look at it is I focus more on the problem statement. And once I sort of use the first principle to break down the problem, very gets easier to sort of go about solutionizing. I think that's always worked for me. I think I also sort of retrospect in terms of what went, because I think last time in terms of Farm Easy, I did not do a lot. I mean, while I did a lot of research, I did not put it on break. I just wanted to sort of the outcomes alone. But I thought this time I'll put my thought process in terms of how did I go about doing stuff. I think, yeah, that worked. Yeah. Big shout out, Josh. Thank you so much for putting this.
No, thank you so much for taking part and all the best. Are you open to partnering up on the next one? Because I think a couple of them had reached out to me saying that, it might be interesting since you've taken part in 2 of them. It'll be good for you to brainstorm, and for them, it'll be a good learning experience.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Anand. Vibhuti, your turn. If you'd like to share your experience, and I think like the other people shared, like great deck. So if you have any tips and tricks, what tools do you use? How do you break down the problem? Anything that you'd like to share?
All right, so this is my first product teardown. I have watched almost all the videos. I think that really helped. And so my approach is first I start with research. So I had no idea what Hashnode is. So I started with research using the product, spending a day or two, because so the Hashnode is a content platform. So basically you have to spend few days, like to get the personalized content. So and then I start with research, and then you are making the user journey. So so in this case, a lot of dev bloggers have written what their user journey is and what they like about Hashnode. For example, the famous features are customization, custom domain name, personalization, etc. So jotting them down, these reviews, and then first I think I start with user interviews, because they really help you in making a user persona, and then using the platform yourself and using each and every feature, getting into the details. So like from and like dividing for example, here in this case, website in different sections, going through each and every section. So this is where I start, and then once you start with the user journey and identifying problems, so when you write each and every problem, then the problem, you will automatically start thinking about the solutions. Okay, I am facing this problem. Maybe what are the solutions I can think of? So, and then solutions added.
Got it. Thanks so much, Vibhuti. I think for the first time, you've probably killed it. Awesome, great stuff. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that as well. Ashwin, Sandeep and Megha are ready, but I'd love to give you the opportunity to share your quick thoughts, how you went about, how did you discover about Teardown? How was your experience doing the entire thing? And some tips and tricks for the rest of us.
Yeah, I guess most of the points are already covered. So in the first teardown, that was the OYO. It took me a lot of time to make up all the things currently from the scratch. And in the second teardown, I was quite a bit quick enough to make it. And I have used great resources that is from Learn PM with me. So it was quite helpful.
Super. Thanks so much, Ashwin. And now, without further ado, I think on this particular edition, we'll have our finalists here, so we can see some live reactions. Usually, I think they're back in the audience, and then we announce the winner, and we can't really see who's won and their reaction. But this time, don't get disappointed, guys. Everyone wins, so don't worry. There's something for everyone. But over to you, Sandeep and Megha. We'd love to hear first about the product sparks, right? Some of the ones from the other decks, some really nice ideas that they want to highlight. And then we'll hand it over to the winner section. So all the best to all three of you. And Sandeep, Megha, over.
Thanks. Hey, Megha, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I can go ahead. So there were 3 more decks that we really liked, and there was just neck to neck qualification there. So and there were different aspects in each of them that really stood out. So one of the The first one would be Ajay Agarwal. So he did a really great user research and market research. So like he was very clear in terms of finding out, like what users really need and what are the other things happening in the market compared to other products. Other would be as it was allowed to do decks in partnership. So the other two were done in form of teams. So one was Mukesh and Jamian. So they were very structured throughout their deck, like like in the starting itself they put it out, like how they will go ahead, and they use some really nice frameworks that I wasn't even aware of. So that was a really great deck itself. And one more was there from Salman and PNB Mrudu. So they focused on points like accessibility for users, and like how we can modify Hashnode mode for color blinds and other aspects of it. That was in the additional sections, but these are some of the points that people generally don't see to cover. So the more surprise points were in their deck. So yeah, congratulations, guys! Like you all three did a really great job. If you are present in audience, just raise your hand so that we know that you are here. Otherwise, you can see this video on YouTube too. And yeah, let's go ahead with the winners.
We should get. So, like, do you have the drum rolls? Or remember, we had discussed that. Like, we wanted some drum rolls before this, right? Do you have the audio ready? Yeah, drum rolls. We'll probably have it ready before the next one.
Okay.
But yeah, over to you. You're on mute. Sandeep, Megha, y'all are on mute. So whoever wants to go.
Yeah, Sandeep will announce the winners.
Hey, yeah. So sorry, there was some disturbance. Yeah. So I think the winner is Anand. We really loved his take. It was very good, although we could not go over everything, but it was quite good. So kudos for your efforts. Next.
Super, congrats, Anand.
Thank you.
Yeah, cool. Congrats, Anand.
Amazing. And next is, I think the next one goes to Vibhuti. Really loved her presentation and deck. It was really well done. So thanks for doing it. Yeah, and the third is of course Ashwin. So congratulations and thanks a lot for doing this. It was a great experience.
Super. Thanks so much, Sandeep. Congratulations, guys. But like we said, everyone wins. So there will be something. I think one of us from the team will be reaching out to you guys. But more than that, I think thanks for participating. I think we all learned lots and lots from this, from the feedback that Sandeep shared to all the ideas that you all presented. Great learnings. I think Gayatri in the chat section, she was a winner for one of the previous ones. She's also been watching this. So great validation, I think, in terms of, thanks so much for participating, and for all the participants, do join us on our Slack channel, interact with these guys who participated. With that, I think we come to the end of this particular teardown. We'd like to thank Megha and Sandeep once again for taking your time. Throughout the entire month, there has been lots and lots of back and forth, but I assure you this is hugely beneficial for our community. So we value the time, and Solai and me will probably reach out to you. We have something for you guys as well. So with that, thanks once again to the winners, and congratulations. Thanks once again to our mentor and Solai for running this entire show. I think throughout the month there's lots and lots that goes on the backstage. Solai and the rest of the team, I think many of them don't come to the stage, but Uday, Rahul, Rachita, huge shout out to the entire team. Trust me, there's a lot of back and forth. It might look smooth, but right from getting the company, like talking to the company, reaching out to the company first, like shortlisting companies to reach out to, then getting the mentors on board, explain the concepts to them, taking their time out for the AMA, setting things up, marketing, there's lots to do. In case you guys want to get involved on that side of things too, feel free to reach out. And with that, hope you guys have a great weekend ahead. We'll see you again next month. Thanks again, Megha, Sandeep, Anand, Vibhuti, and Ashwin. We'll see you around next month.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.